So I'm doing my second segment on the finishing aspect of my curly hair style. So you've seen the styling so far, which is really just setting the curls, and now we're going to dry them, and then we'll finish them off. So I'm going to take you through the approach, and you'll see what goes on behind the scenes. So you need a diffuser. It looks like this. It's just an attachment that goes to the end of your blow dryer. Okay, so what this does is it diffuses the airflow so that your curls and your hair don't blow around, because if your hair blows around, it's going to separate the definition that we just created, and the curls are going to separate from that definition, and it's going to cause frizz. So you're just going to see lots of little pieces flying around, which is what we don't want, because that's why we spent all that time doing the setting of the curls. So the diffuser diffuses the airflow. You can put the blow dryer on high. Might as well get it dry quicker. And you can put it on hot too, because as long as you have a protectant in your hair to protect it from heat styling damage, then you're fine. And really, you're not going to damage your hair unless you're pulling it and stretching out the curl with heat. If you're just letting your hair, be in its natural state with heat, it's okay. So with that being said, we're going to start drying it. And for me, I like my curls to look natural. I don't like to encourage the curl. If you wanted to encourage the curl, you would take the diffuser and lift the curl into it. So the curls are coiling around all the little prongs inside the diffuser. So it just encourages the curl, coils them so that they're really bouncy. If you want the hair to just dry like it would if you were to let it air dry, you just take the diffuser and you just kind of fan it around the outside of the hair. So that will just keep the curls in place just like this, just as if you were air drying. It just speeds up the process with the dryer. So typically what I suggest to my clients is diffuse, set a timer and diffuse your hair from side to side. So on one side, maybe set it for 5 or 7 minutes, and just don't use the other hand. Just let the diffuser do all the work. Just let it, get it dry. Don't touch it. And then once the timer is finished, then you can flip to the other side and do the other side. Or you could flip your hair all the way upside down and get it dry that way initially with like 5 or 7 minutes upside down. And that's if you want to create a lot of height on the top. So the reason I suggest that is because when you're diffusing your hair, it feels like you're not doing anything. So it just feels like the time is dragging. Unlike when you're using your hands with a round brush and you're actually doing a lot of work. So it feels like you're actually, the time is going by faster. But you'll notice that if you start touching the hair while you're diffusing, you're just going to create frizz because you're messing up the set that you just created. So if you're, after like 3 minutes, you're getting really impatient and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, hurry up. You kind of just feel like by doing this, you're going to speed up the process. You're not going to speed up the process by doing that, and you're just being impatient and you're just creating frizz. So with the timer, it gives you like a little peace of mind to just be like, okay, I've got 2 more minutes. I can keep doing this, blah, blah, blah. So I think that helps. So usually 7 minutes upside down for maybe like 2 minutes if you've done both sides. If you're doing upside down first, do like 7 minutes upside down, bring it back up, maybe do 3 minutes on either side, and then you should be done. So to test if it's dry, just kind of squeeze the hair. Don't, ruffle it. Don't go like this. Don't mess with the exterior of the hair. But you can just kind of gently squeeze and see how it's feeling as you're drying it. So I'm just going to show you real quick what it looks like. It's essentially what I was just doing, but I'll show you when the dryer is actually on so that you can believe me, okay? So I'm going to get into position so that I can let my hair kind of hang. So you want it all to kind of come over your shoulder, or if you're going upside down, have it all be this way so that you're going like that. The reason is you want your hair to be kind of coming up off the scalp. If you're like this the whole time, it's just going to take longer for the actual roots to get dry because the hair is clumping down. But if you're like this, it kind of lifts it away from the root area and it just speeds up the process. So you'll see, ready? I'm going to turn it on high and hot. Hold on. Sometimes you just got to set the reset button on the plug. Okay. So really crank your neck. So you can see that I'm getting it from all angles. And you can see how it could be really, really boring. So that's why the timer helps. And like I said, if you wanted more curl, you would start from the very bottom and just diffuse it all the way up. So it just really gives it more volume, more spring. And you can kind of do a combo. Sometimes I like to do this in the very beginning just to get the ends going. And then the rest of the time, I'll just go like this and just fan it. Another thing I wanted to show you too, what I said in the last video, is you can use the duckbill clips or you can use your fingers to create some height. So I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to place it at the root like that. So I'm not doing anything else but just placing it at the root. So that just kind of lifts it, gets it dry while it's set in this way. And then I can do it back here if I want. But the key is to take the fingers out gently. Definitely do not rake them out this way because you'll just disrupt all the curls that you already created. So I would typically stay on this side for maybe like 3 more minutes. But I'm going to flip over to this side, the other side, so you can see. And again, you can see that all the hair is over my shoulder. And maybe you switch hands. And maybe I go like this on the ends. You can see that I'm not going like all the way up because that will create way too much volume. But you can just do it lightly on the ends. So you can really customize your look depending on what you want. But the key is to be really, really patient at this point. And again, I could take my fingers and come in at any angle that I want and give it a little lift. So after I'm finished with about 4, maybe 5 minutes on this side, then I would flip it upside down. So I'm just going to show you real quick, even though I do have more time to go. This way I'm just getting the very underneath and like in towards the crown area. You know, just making sure that everything's dry. And again, just kind of like tapping it, seeing if it's dry, maybe squeezing, but not fluffing. So I'm going to continue to dry, and then I'll come back and show you the finishing touch.